I'm Sarah Jane Knoy, the Director of the Granite State Organizing Project, and Young Organizers United is our youth organizing wing.
So it's really important that we engage in courageous conversations so that you all can know what the experience of being different is like. And it's really important that organizations like GSOP and Able New Hampshire get together and let our young leaders speak. So tonight we have a panel in between sets for your listening pleasure.
Okay, and because the basic theory of community organizing is that the people who are affected by the issues are the people who speak about the issues, Lisa and I aren't going to say anything else, and we're going to turn it over to our panel. Thank you for being here.
Okay. All right. I'm Katie Phillips. I am from Somerville, New Hampshire, and I am with Able New Hampshire.
Hey, I'm Mo. I'm 17. I attend Manchester Memorial High School, and I'm part of GSOP.
A little louder.
Speak louder.
My name is Forrest Baldwin Friday. I am also with Able New Hampshire, co-chair of the Not Able, and board member at Beauty Council.
I don't know if it'll reach.
No, over your head.
Yeah, it's gonna go long.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Verdenier. I go to Manchester West High School. I'm 15 years old, and I'm part of YRU and a member of the GSOP. Yay!
Leah.
Hi, my name's Leah Stagnone. I'm the community organizer at Able New Hampshire, and I live in Litchfield. And my experience with chronic illness is what brought me to Able and to disability advocacy.
Hi, my name is Ken Ray. I'm 17. I go to Manchester Memorial High School. I'm with Young Organizers United, and yeah.
Can you turn the speaker up? It's hard to hear in the back.
You need to speak loudly. Speak loudly.
Okay. We're here today to talk about some things that divide us and some things that bring us together. In a world today that is so divided that it feels like we're all fighting on opposing sides, we shared our stories together, and stories that came from pain, things that, are different in all of us, and things that happened to us in the past that just are really hurtful things. Through sharing those things, we found that we had a lot more in common than we thought. So we came here today to bring those things to the attention of the public and to the attention of everyone, to hopefully bring a better people and to make the world a better place just by sharing all of our experiences. So we're going to share some stories for you guys, and hopefully maybe you can relate to them, and if you can't relate to them, maybe you can just see the inside of what it's like to be different.
Mackenzie, do you want to tell us about YOU?
Oh yeah, the YOU, Youth Organizers United. We're a New Hampshire-based program, and we work in the communities, and we just find problems and we do our best to fix them. More recently, we started running our ACE campaign to help bring American Comparative Cultures, a class on that, to our education systems, because that's a problem that we just see people just general ignorance, and it's no one's fault that they don't have this ignorance, but getting rid of that. And that's something that we work really hard to do. So really, we just want to make change, and we take youth, all different types of youth from all different ethnic backgrounds, and we do our best to make a difference. Do you want to talk about Able?
Forrest.
Hi, again. So, what Able New Hampshire does is delivers justice and advances human rights for people impacted by disability who face barriers to education, employment, healthcare, and civic engagement. Able New Hampshire is the Granite State's only disability justice organization free of public funds, where people with and without disabilities create meaningful space for people with disabilities in the areas of public education, employment, civic engagement, and healthcare. In other words, we fight ableism in big and little places around New Hampshire. Able New Hampshire organizes ordinary citizens to become extraordinary leaders. We co-create inclusion, equity, and opportunity.
Oh yeah. Alright, so this is my story. So, when I was in high school, I wanted to take a Spanish class.
Microphone up at your mouth.
Okay, is this good?
More.
Okay.
Louder.
Louder? Is that better? Okay.
Even louder.
Okay.
Shout it out, Katie. You got a story to share.
I have a story to share. Is that louder? Okay. When I was in high school, I wanted to take a Spanish class, but I was told that I could not take this class because of my disability. I didn't know this was against the law. Now I do. Teachers and students set limits on people with disabilities and make assumptions and set low expectations. This is not right. Both in high school, I took both general education classes and some special ed classes. When I was in a general education study hall, I did not feel welcome or like I belonged. People made assumptions about my worth as a friend and student and a classmate. Students without disabilities had a hard time thinking of me as a potential friend. I felt driven out of general ed study hall. People with disabilities have a right to take the courses they are interested in alongside their peers who don't have disabilities. We should have access to the same opportunities that our classmates do. Educators should presume that we are confident, have high expectations of us, and be encouraged when we want to challenge ourselves. Our peers should see us as a worthwhile friend. I've now learned that special education should be a way to provide support and services. It should not be a separate segregated location in a school building. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can y'all in the back hear me?
Louder.
Stand up.
Louder.
I'll stand up.
Louder.
So once again, I'm Mo. Nice to meet you all. So my story is all about, like, what's it called? Discrimination in school and inside the classroom. So basically, last year I took AP World History, and as a black student, not many students are even in AP classes, so it was a big step for me. We started the African American Cultures Unit, and the teacher singled me out to read it, assuming that I knew all about it. And that was just something that wasn't right, and it really hit me. And she just put me on the spot in the middle of class, and I just feel like that's something that part of GSOP and ABLE, we can all experience, like being put on the spot and stuff like that. And the same thing happened during Black History Month when the teacher also singled me out to talk about the studies in front of the class as being the only African American in the class. So just stories like this are what need to be shared and stuff. And basically, I feel like that's where me and ABLE and the rest of the GSOP can relate in terms of being discriminated and stuff.
Hi again. So I am on the board of ABLE New Hampshire. This is the Developmental Disabilities Council on Disability. There is another man who lives in my area who has Down syndrome. His name is Will Cochran. He and I have the same extra chromosome. I identify as a person with trisomy 21. He is much taller than me and uses very few words to communicate. I speak some French as well as English. His hair and eye color are totally different from mine. He doesn't live on his own like I do. I am a musician. He isn't. We are very different people as far as I can tell. The only thing we have in common is an extra chromosome. At least 4 times a year when I'm walking around town on my own, people mistake me for Will. They say, "Hi, Will," and try to talk with me. Several times I've corrected people. They insist my name is Will, and they giggle at me as if I don't own that name. One time, a person patted me on the head. People don't listen to me, and they don't see me because of stereotypes. People just see the face of Down syndrome. I am a grown man. I am an individual. If I see more people do that again, I will call them discriminators and ableists.
Hi, I'm Granite again.
Louder.
Can you guys hear me?
A little louder.
Louder? Louder?
There you go, that's better.
Yeah, so I can talk on my stories on being a 17-year-old black man in, well, just New Hampshire. Well, louder? I'm sorry. But, yeah, it's hard being different in New Hampshire and just the U.S. As a black man. There's been times where I would just, well, there was one time where I went to a store after a basketball practice, so like I had my bag on and stuff like that, and the lady at the counter was just following me around the store, and yeah, she was acting like she was working, but she would look, I would turn the corner, she would follow me, and I'm like, "Are you following me?" She'd be like, "No, I'm just working." And then there'll be other times where I'll walk into a store, I'll get dirty looks, and if I'm from basketball, I have like a bag and be like, "Can you drop it at the front?" Like it's like I'm a different person, or I don't know. It's like a stereotype that people just look at you different just by the way of your skin, the way you talk, the way you dress, and there's just this stereotype. But and the truth about it is you can't be looking at people different, even if you're from one part of the world, you talk differently, and that's why I joined YOU in my freshman year, to try to make a difference and try to have voices to be heard. And I'm not gonna stop until everybody in the world can just be comfortable. Just, it's hard for me to say, but everybody can just be comfortable and just be viewed as one family. Not the color of your skin, not the way you're looked at, just we're all one. And that's why I'm here today.
Hi everyone, I'm Leah again. So one theme that came up a lot in our conversations as we shared our stories was this feeling of the world not being built for us. That the world is not built. That the world is built with white people in mind. Is built with non-disabled people in mind. And that wasn't something like. I hadn't really experienced that feeling until I became disabled at around 20 years old. and had to kind of learn a whole new way of navigating the world. And for me, that looked a lot like, you know, all these seemingly little things that came to mean big obstacles. A lot of the time for me, it has to do with accessibility. Having to, you know, plan out in all this detail before I go to an event or do something with friends, you know, and wonder, is there going to be enough accessible parking? Am I going to be able to walk far enough to get there? Is there going to be a place for me to sit down? And there have been times where I have showed up to events and gotten there and realized there is no accessible parking, I can't walk far enough, and I've had to turn around and go home. And it's discouraging. And you know, that kind of feeling has come up a lot. And you know, when I first graduated college and was looking through job applications and was seeing all of these opportunities that I knew that I could do well, but then there would be in the description, must be able to lift 40 pounds, must be able to stand on your feet for a long and for no reason really. And yeah, it's just in a lot of ways felt like constant obstacles were not really necessary, just because the world is designed with serving people in mind.
With the idea that there is a default that the world is made for an able-bodied white person. I don't know if any of you watch the Olympics or what's going on in the Olympics right now. But black people have very thick and curly hair, and so when you're an Olympic swimmer and you have to wear a swim cap, your thick and curly hair might not be able to fit in those specific swim caps. So a company made a swim cap that is specifically made for black people and their hair, made by them, for black people, so that way they can swim comfortably, and the Olympics banned it. Making it so that way black people can no longer use those swim caps in their sport. What are they supposed to do? I don't know, figure it out. And that realization is kind of what it feels like. Or, last week we were walking down the street, my friend and I were looking for barbershops to go get her hair done. And we were going down to all the barbershops, and a lot of them were predominantly white. And that sounds like not a bad thing, but when a white person isn't trained to know how to do your hair, it's problematic. They might not even let you take your service. They just will straight up deny you, or if they do your hair, they're gonna do it wrong. So having to find a specific, you know, black barbershop just to go get a haircut, or having to find a sport that's made for you, it's not only discouraging, it hurts. It hurts to realize that in the place where you were born, I was born in America, I am an American, and it wasn't made for me. And realizing that, you realize that really young when you're black. And that's something that I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to have to tell my kids that they're different, because they're not. I bleed red, the same as you all. But because of the color of my skin, and because maybe the way that I talk, or maybe the texture of my hair, I'm going to be looked at as different. And I don't vibe with that. So hopefully by us telling you these stories, you might be able to, you know, help us make a change.
And so the reason that we're here sharing these stories today is that we want to build a world that's more inclusive. We want to build a world that works for everyone, and we want more awareness around these issues. And at ABLE and at GSOP, we organize people and their stories to make a difference and to change systems. And you know, so that's why we're here today, because we think that stories are powerful, and we think that they can make a difference. And yeah, we like to empower people to take control over their circumstances and join with us in fighting for change.
I don't know, we have like one more story that we were gonna tell. We just squeeze it in there. I work at a counter at a restaurant, and I just, take people's orders and give them their food. It's a pretty easy job. It's not that complicated. And I was giving someone change once, and they looked at me and they looked at, the change, and they asked, could you just go get a manager to double check it? And I looked at them and I was like, oh, sure. And I wasn't sure why. And then I realized when I got home, it's because they thought I gave them the wrong change, or that I was stealing their money. As if I couldn't count their change, and as if I was going to take from them. And again, it's just another realization that no matter how hard you try, I got that job fair and square. Someone of, a higher occupation than me saw that I was fit for the job, and they hired me, and this person came in and assumed that I couldn't do it, or that I was going to do it wrong. So again, it's just another realization that you have when you're very young, that the world isn't made for you and that you're not fit to be here. Do you have something that might go on that?
Sorry, I forgot this part. I mixed up our order a little bit. Another theme that came up in our stories was feeling like people don't believe in us or believe us, and that's something that came up for me, in especially in medical settings, but kind of just in general. When I became disabled, was that I felt like all of a sudden I was treated like an unreliable narrator of my own experience. I can think of like so many stories, but one that stands out to me the most is I went into one of my doctors with serious concerns. I was having really scary allergic reactions, and his response to me was something along the lines of, you need to relax, and he suggested that I get a boyfriend. And just the level of dismissal, I guess, when you're coming to someone with concerns like that is discouraging.
A level of respect.
Yeah, it feels like you're not being respected in your ability to, to tell your own experience.
Just one more thing.
Okay.
Just one more thing. Yeah, so I was going to also mention that this is like more my thing when you are having a difficult time trying to find a job in the community, because I have been filling out these applications trying to get applied, so that they will take time to make sure that they're hired at a job that they want to work at, and it is taking people some time to review applications, get me the job, and they're slow going in downtown Peterborough, because I just trying to get a job in my community, and trying to advocate to get employment in downtown Peterborough, and that is what my community needs, is an advocate to find a job in your downtown area, and that is how it works in reality.
I know we talked about this before. Do you feel like people treat you differently when you're trying to get a job because of your disability?
Yeah, another thing is that some people are trying to treat me differently, and that they don't see me pretty much as that I am, that my name is Forrest, because I kind of feel a little bit overwhelmed and uncomfortable that my feelings are hurt when people try to talk to me, because it is because that you don't do that. It is very disrespectful, and it is not right. I have human rights to stand up to myself and do what is right to show people who's boss about who I am.
Our two programs understand the importance of intersectionality and about coming together about our different problems. And I think really the main goal of both of our programs is to just seek respect, to give respect and to get respect for both of our communities, not even communities, for both of our just people in general. You know, not having to put people in categories and just realizing that we're all humans. No matter, we might look a little different, we might talk different, we're still people. And I think understanding that, when we all understand that, our world will truly be a better place. And I think, unless anybody else has anything else to say, that'll wrap up our panel.